So there's this saying that gets tossed around a lot, and that's because it's true. It takes a lot to make a movie. It takes a whole lot to make a movie, and I respect that, so that's why I try to be somewhat respectful in my reviews. But this is also from the director of The Last Airbender, so you have to come guns a-blazing. After Earth is pretty much your survival movie. Will and Jaden Smith, they crash land on planet Earth. Planet Earth has now evolved to kill. Will's character cannot walk anymore, so Jaden has to venture out to find this beacon so he can signal for help to rescue them. I was nervous going into After Earth. Because of M. Night Shyamalan's recent track history, I did not know what I was going to get in. I was nervous that I was going to literally be screaming at the screen in pain from what I was probably going to be witnessing. Turns out, this film actually evolved to bore you. I was just so bored with this film. There were so many thoughts going through my head about what this film possibly could have been, whether good or bad, but the one thought I never had was that this film was going to be boring. But for the most of the part, that's what it is. I had a hard time trying to keep interest in this film because most of the time I'm just so bored by the lack of any personality and wooden characters that this film has. For a movie that had sort of a hefty budget, it looked pretty cheap. The effects didn't look finished. They looked really cheap, and at times they looked good, but most of the time I felt like the effects looked cheap, especially in the first 15 minutes of this film. First 15 minutes of this film are really, really awful to look at. From the moment this film started, it started off extremely rocky. Jaden Smith is given this awful narration in this accent that I just cannot stand. It's cringeworthy. A role like this demands so much of an actor, and I just don't feel like Jaden is ready for this. I mean, most of the time you have to talk to a green screen. So for many of the scenes in this film, I felt like Jaden Smith was either overacting or underacting. A lot of the action scenes, he just wasn't scared or frightened enough for a character that actually is supposed to have a lot of emotion and personality, while Will has none. He's supposed to have all of it, and I felt like he was underacting. And then when there's these big emotional scenes, like this scene that takes place on a cliff where he's, yelling at his dad, coming out about everything he feels about his dad, it's extremely overacted, it's forced, and it's actually pretty cringing to watch. Someone needs to put M. Night Shyamalan in its own little glass bubble, because I don't know what's been going on with him. I don't know if he got cocky all of a sudden and was just like, hey, I'm the new Steven Spielberg, y'all better listen up. I don't know what happened. I personally found Devil to be extremely underrated film. My bet is he needs to just continue going that route until he personally feels like he can actually deliver something that will actually succeed. Honestly, I would just skip this film, and according to the box office numbers, it seems like most of you have. Honestly, the best compliment I could give After Earth was, it's not as bad as The Last Airbender. As a score goes, I'm going to give After Earth a 2 out of 5. That's a very generous score for this film. It's just a bad movie. So there you have it, you guys. That's my review of After Earth. Until next time, I'm the Slasher Movie Reviewer, and you guys just been slagged.